Hello friends. Have you ever wondered what happens when the bold fire of Aries meets the radiant sunshine of Leo? Only this time both are colored by the ancient Chinese zodiac signs of the snake and the monkey? On the surface, Aries the snake and Leo the monkey sound like a fascinating mix of charisma, intellect, passion, and playfulness. But what truly lies beneath this union? Are they destined to become the unstoppable power couple, the best of friends, the shrewdest of business partners, or could their dark sides pull them apart? Let's dive deep into their compatibility, exploring love, marriage, sex, friendship, business, the shadows of their personalities, their life goals, and of course, some final thoughts. Love. Love between an Aries snake and a Leo monkey is like stepping into a room lit by fire and mirrors. Every movement catches the eye, every spark reflects endlessly, and the chemistry is undeniable from the very first glance. Aries snake brings a magnetic stillness to the encounter, a quiet intensity that feels like a current running beneath the surface. They are not the type to rush blindly into love. They measure, they watch, they calculate, and when they decide to give their heart, it is with the certainty of someone who has already thought 10 steps ahead. Leo monkey, by contrast, is the embodiment of radiant charm. They walk into the room and laughter follows them. Their aura is playful, their energy contagious, and they thrive on admiration, attention, and the joy of being adored. Put these two together and the connection feels like destiny writing its own story. At the very beginning, attraction strikes fast and hard. The snake is seduced by the monkey's lightness, that spontaneous joy that makes every moment feel like a celebration. The monkey, in turn, is fascinated by the snake's aura of mystery, the sense that beneath the calm and controlled surface lies a world of passion waiting to be discovered. It's almost cinematic, a meeting of opposites that draws them closer rather than pushing them apart. To outsiders, their connection can look like an instant spark, a love story written in the stars, full of laughter, glances that last too long, and conversations that feel as though they've known each other for years. But love here is not just sparkle, it comes with complexity. The Aries snake, with their intensity, demands emotional security. They need reassurance, loyalty, and a sense that their partner belongs fully to them. When they love with all-consuming passion, and they expect reciprocity. Yet the Leo monkey resists being owned. For them, love is freedom, love is play, love is the ability to shine brightly without shadows of suspicion following their every step. If the snake's possessiveness grows too strong, the monkey begins to feel trapped. If the monkey's need for freedom tips into carelessness, the snake begins to feel betrayed. The result is tension, like two dancers moving beautifully in sync until one misstep throws the rhythm off. Still, when these two manage to balance their needs, their love transforms into something extraordinary. Imagine a constant dance, the snake moving with slow, deliberate grace, the monkey twirling with exuberant leaps. Together, they create a rhythm that is both structured and wild, a choreography that captures the essence of passion and joy. The snake brings depth, intensity, and sensual devotion to the relationship. They remind the monkey that love can be more than fun. It can be an anchor, a source of power, a bond that shapes one's life. The monkey brings levity, humor, and spontaneity, ensuring that the relationship never turns stagnant. They teach the snake that love doesn't always have to be heavy. It can be playful, liberating, and filled with laughter. Everyday moments between them often become extraordinary. A dinner together is not just a meal but a theater of glances, witty jokes, subtle touches, and unspoken promises. A simple walk turns into a shared adventure, monkey telling stories, snake quietly smiling, storing away every word and every gesture. This ability to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary is one of the reasons why their love can feel so intoxicating. Yet beneath the beauty lies the constant challenge of trust. The snake's natural tendency to test, to observe, and to sometimes manipulate can clash with the monkey's need for transparency and fun. If the snake grows too suspicious, they may create the very distance they fear. The monkey, in turn, must learn that their lightheartedness can sometimes wound deeply, even when they don't mean to. A playful flirtation, a joke taken too far, can cut into the snake's heart like a blade. Both must grow, snake toward letting go, monkey toward being more mindful. In moments of harmony, their love feels like a fortress and a festival rolled into one. The snake wraps the relationship in a protective, loyal embrace, making the monkey feel safe even as they dance freely. The monkey fills the snake's world with color, laughter, and excitement, making them feel alive beyond the quiet intensity of their nature. Together, they become not just lovers but muses for each other, drawing out aspects of themselves they might never have discovered alone. But when harmony cracks, the storms can be dramatic. Fights between Aries snake and Leo monkey are not subtle. The snake, when hurt, retreats into silence, plotting, analyzing, their passion turning into cold withdrawal. The monkey explodes outward, throwing words like fireworks, creating chaos, sometimes even performing anger to an audience. These clashes can leave scars. Yet strangely, their very intensity often makes reconciliation equally passionate. After all, fire can burn, but fire can also warm. For outsiders, their relationship may look volatile, even exhausting. But to them, it feels alive, pulsing, and meaningful. Neither is bored, neither feels indifferent. Their love is the opposite of dullness. It is a roller coaster where the highs are breathtaking and the lows are profound. In time, if both learn to adjust, their love can mature into a powerful union. The snake learns that trust is not weakness, that letting the monkey shine doesn't mean losing them. The monkey learns that freedom is sweeter when paired with devotion, that loyalty doesn't have to dull the fun but can deepen the joy. When they reach this stage, they become one of those couples who seem larger than life, radiating both passion and play, intensity and joy. In essence, love between an Aries snake and a Leo monkey is not easy, but it is unforgettable. It demands growth, compromise, and a constant willingness to balance fire with fire. It is a love that burns brightly, dangerously, beautifully. And for those who are brave enough to live it, it offers the chance to experience not just romance but transformation. Marriage. So what happens if these two decide to tie the knot? Marriage between Aries snake and Leo monkey is not simply a ceremony with vows and rings. It's a living experiment where two fiery, magnetic personalities try to build a life under one roof while preserving what makes them both unique. On the surface, they seem like a power couple. The snake brings focus, wisdom, and composure, while the monkey brings brilliance, charisma, and excitement. Guests at their wedding might whisper that this pair will either rule the world together or burn down the house trying. And the truth is, they wouldn't be wrong in either case. The Aries snake enters marriage with immense seriousness. For them, commitment is not casual, not something to play with, but a promise sealed with fire. They become steady, resourceful, and even protective. They want their home to be a sanctuary, a place of stability and strength where nothing shakes their foundation. When the snake marries, they do so after much calculation, often choosing a partner they believe will elevate their life or balance their inner restlessness. Leo monkey, in contrast, enters marriage with a different lens. They are dreamers and adventurers, viewing marriage as both a bond of love and a platform for joy. To them, it's a stage where passion, fun, and shared adventures will play out endlessly. They envision laughter echoing through the walls, spontaneous trips, dramatic celebrations, and a marriage that feels like a carnival of shared experiences. At first, their differences weave together beautifully. The snake appreciates the monkey's ability to keep the marriage alive, to add colors and sounds to what could otherwise feel too solemn. Monkey, in turn, is comforted by the snake's stability, that invisible safety net that grounds them when their natural restlessness threatens to scatter their energy too widely. Friends and family might see their marriage as well balanced. Snake provides structure, monkey provides joy. Together, they look like yin and yang, a partnership in which one completes what the other lacks. But beneath the harmony lies the ongoing challenge of priorities. The snake prefers privacy, intimacy, and quiet control of the household. They imagine evenings spent in depth, long conversations, quiet dinners, a carefully managed rhythm where everything feels orderly. The monkey, however, thrives in the spotlight. They crave friends, parties, and the admiration of others. Their calendar is full of dinners, social events, and opportunities to shine. When these worlds collide, friction is inevitable. The snake begins to feel exposed, drained by the constant external energy, while the monkey feels suffocated by the snake's subtle but persistent demands for seclusion. One of the most dramatic points of tension in this marriage is the issue of control. Snakes are natural strategists. They subtly shape the environment, quietly steering their partners and decisions. It isn't usually overt domination. It's more like an invisible hand, guiding, persuading, ensuring their needs are met. But monkeys, especially Leo monkeys, despise feeling controlled. They might initially laugh it off, teasing the snake for being too serious, but over time the rebellion builds. If pushed too far, the monkey retaliates with mischief, unpredictability, or even outright defiance. To them, freedom is sacred. Any attempt to cage them feels like a betrayal of their very essence. On the other hand, betrayal, real or perceived, is the snake's greatest fear. Aries snake invests deeply, and once trust is broken, it rarely heals. If monkey flirts too much, seeks too much outside validation, or even gives off the impression of disloyalty, the snake's heart hardens. Unlike some signs that forgive easily, snakes carry their pain like an internal storm. Their silence becomes cutting, their distance palpable. They may not always explode outwardly, but their withdrawal is sharp enough to freeze the warmth of the household. Yet despite these dangers, when the balance is achieved, their marriage can be extraordinary. Imagine a home where mornings start with the monkey's laughter echoing in the kitchen, while the snake watches with a quiet smile, brewing coffee with precision. Evenings might be split. One night at a grand social event where the monkey dazzles everyone, another night at home, where the snake creates an intimate sanctuary of candlelight and whispered secrets. In this rhythm, both find satisfaction. Snake gets their moments of closeness, monkey gets their bursts of brilliance. Patience is their survival tool. For the snake, it means learning that loosening the grip does not mean losing love. They must trust that the monkey, despite being sociable and playful, can be loyal. For the monkey, patience means showing the snake through actions, stability, reassurance, consistency, that their sparkle is not a threat to the marriage but an enhancement of it. This mutual growth allows their union to evolve beyond constant friction into something resembling a masterpiece of opposites. When outsiders look at an Aries snake Leo monkey marriage that works, they often see a couple that is endlessly fascinating. They host unforgettable gatherings, yet they also share an unspoken intimacy behind closed doors. They fight passionately, but they also reconcile with equal passion, creating a marriage that feels alive, not stagnant. Their bond teaches others that love isn't about erasing differences but learning how to live with fire and not get burned. Over the years, this marriage may transform. In youth, it is dramatic, full of fireworks, arguments, reconciliations, and constant adjustments. In maturity, if they survive those trials, it becomes something deeper. The snake mellows, learning to admire rather than control. The monkey ripens, learning that freedom feels best when it is rooted in loyalty. By then, their home becomes both fortress and playground, secure enough for the snake, lively enough for the monkey. So, marriage between Aries snake and Leo monkey is neither purely blissful nor purely disastrous. It is a high-wire act, a constant balancing of needs, personalities, and desires. But if they walk that wire with patience and respect, their union doesn't just survive, it thrives. It becomes a marriage of paradoxes, serious yet playful, traditional yet surprising, steady yet wild. And for both partners, it becomes a journey not just of loving each other but of discovering their own hidden strengths along the way. Sex. Now let's talk intimacy, the unspoken current that defines whether Aries snake and Leo monkey can move beyond sparks and into a connection that sustains itself in the deepest hours of the night. Sex between them is often nothing short of electric. Imagine two elements colliding, one deliberate and hypnotic, the other lively and unpredictable, and you have the picture of their union in bed. Aries snake is passionate, sensual, and intense. They treat intimacy as a sacred ritual, a slow unfolding of energy, where every touch carries meaning. They savor the moment, turning it into something artistic, almost ceremonial. For them, sex is not just about release, it's about merging body, mind, and spirit. Leo monkey, in contrast, approaches intimacy with laughter, curiosity, and daring. For them, sex is playful, experimental, and full of surprises. They want to try, to invent, to push boundaries, to discover new ways of enjoying closeness. When these two worlds meet, the result can be exhilarating, like mixing fire with fireworks, dazzling, wild, and unforgettable. At the beginning of their sexual journey, their differences act as magnets. Snake's mystery and allure make the monkey feel like they've stumbled into an erotic labyrinth, each kiss leading deeper into a maze of passion. Monkey's inventiveness and humor, on the other hand, disarm the snake's calculated control, coaxing them into spontaneity they might otherwise resist. The first nights together are often unforgettable, full of both slow-burning seduction and explosive fun. To snake, monkey feels like a spark of joy in their private temple. To monkey, snake feels like a hidden treasure, someone who makes them realize that sex can be more than a game. But over time, contrasts can morph into challenges. The snake's intensity can sometimes feel heavy to the monkey, who craves freedom even in intimacy. Snake wants to connect soul to soul, body to body, in a way that feels binding, almost eternal. Monkey, however, sometimes treats sex as play, an arena for laughter, role play, and experimentation without always attaching deep emotional weight. To the snake, this casualness can feel like betrayal, as if the monkey is only skimming the surface of a pool they long to dive into. To the monkey, the snake's demands for depth can feel like pressure, as if joy is being replaced by obligation. This tension can ignite conflicts. Snake may withdraw, becoming cold or resentful, silently punishing monkey for not meeting their emotional depth. Monkey, in response, may rebel, becoming more careless or reckless in bed, turning intimacy into a playground rather than a sanctuary. Without communication, their once electric chemistry can become an arena of silent battles, each partner frustrated, each longing for something the other doesn't seem to understand. Yet when they communicate, magic happens. If snake learns to ease their grip and allow more play, they discover that laughter in bed doesn't weaken passion, it strengthens it. The monkey's games, experiments, and lightheartedness can make intimacy feel alive, evolving, never dull. Conversely, if monkey learns to honor the snake's need for meaning, they realize that depth doesn't kill fun, it intensifies it. Their experiments take on new layers, their playfulness gains emotional resonance, and what begins as laughter often ends in profound connection. In this balance, their sex life transcends mere satisfaction and becomes transformative. The erotic language of Aries Snake is all about control and surrender. They adore foreplay, tension, the slow buildup of desire. Every kiss is calculated, every movement deliberate. They want to taste intensity in silence and in fire alike. The monkey, meanwhile, speaks in improvisation. They love spontaneity, sudden bursts of passion, quick surprises that make the snake gasp and lose their composure. Together, they can create an intimacy that is both theater and ritual, part performance, part devotion. A night together may look like this. Snake sets the stage, dim lights, careful touches, weaving an atmosphere of seduction so thick it's almost tangible. Monkey interrupts with laughter, a teasing glance, or a daring move that breaks the silence and turns seriousness into joy. Snake resists at first, then melts, realizing that pleasure can be both sacred and playful. Hours later, they both lie in the afterglow, amazed at how they've merged two seemingly opposite approaches into one symphony of passion. Still, the dangers remain. Snake's possessiveness can creep into the bedroom, turning intimacy into a test of loyalty. Monkey's flirtatious nature, even in imagination, can trigger Snake's jealousy. A whispered joke, a playful comment about someone else, can cut deeper than monkey realizes. For Snake, sex is proof of devotion. For monkey, it's a canvas for fun. Without awareness, these differences can turn their bed into a battlefield. But when handled with care, their differences don't divide them, they enrich them. Snake learns to laugh more, to loosen their seriousness, to enjoy the unexpected turns of desire. Monkey learns to slow down, to feel the depth of touch, to embrace the emotional weight that makes intimacy sacred. Together, they create a sexual life that is not static but constantly evolving, sometimes ritualistic, sometimes spontaneous, but always unforgettable. In the end, intimacy between Aries Snake and Leo Monkey is like fire dancing with light. It can scorch, it can blind, but in balance, it illuminates their entire relationship. Their sex life is not just about physical satisfaction, it's a mirror of their love, dramatic, playful, profound, and always alive. If they manage to merge Snake's depth with Monkey's playfulness, their bedroom becomes more than a place of passion. It becomes the heart of their union, a space where they rediscover each other again and again, in fire, laughter, and devotion. Friendship. As friends, Aries Snake and Leo Monkey make a unique duo, the kind of pairing people notice immediately when they walk into a room together. They don't blend into the background, they stand out, almost like characters from a novel written in bold ink. Snake is the strategist, calm, wise, and always a little mysterious. They are the one who listens more than they speak, who watches carefully, who sees 3 moves ahead in any situation. Monkey is the entertainer, funny, energetic, magnetic, always finding a way to bring life into any dull moment. They don't just enter a friendship, they ignite it. Together, they balance each other in a way that seems improbable yet strangely natural. At the heart of this friendship lies a beautiful exchange of qualities. Snake offers patience, depth, and foresight. They are the friend who will pull Monkey aside and whisper, "Think twice before you act," when Monkey is about to dive headfirst into trouble. Snake's gift is strategy. They can see the consequences of actions before they unfold, and they lend that wisdom to Monkey in moments of chaos. Monkey, on the other hand, gives Snake something Snake doesn't easily find alone: lightness. Monkey knows how to make Snake laugh, how to nudge them out of their serious shell, how to remind them that life doesn't always have to be a calculated chess game. Together, they weave a bond of balance, seriousness softened by play, playfulness sharpened by wisdom. Spend an afternoon with them and you'll see the contrast come alive. Monkey is telling stories, embellishing every detail, making the room shake with laughter. Snake sits quietly, smiling knowingly, their eyes betraying both amusement and calculation, waiting for the right moment to add a dry, cutting remark that silences the room with brilliance. Everyone laughs again, but this time because of Snake's sharp wit. It's a rhythm. Monkey leads with exuberance, Snake follows with precision, and together they create a performance only they can pull off. Their friendship is not only about entertainment. There are times when the monkey's energy spills into recklessness, when they leap into adventures without considering the cost. In those moments, Snake is the anchor, the one who pulls them back, who says, "Not every fire is worth dancing in." Conversely, when Snake becomes too withdrawn, too wrapped in their own thoughts, Monkey bursts in like sunlight through curtains, dragging them into life, reminding them that joy is not a distraction but a necessity. Of course, no friendship is without its tensions, and this one has its share. Snake, despite their loyalty, can grow irritated with Monkey's unpredictability. They like order, they like knowing what tomorrow will bring, and Monkey's constant changing of plans can feel exhausting. One day Monkey is obsessed with a new hobby, the next day they've abandoned it for another. To Snake, this can feel shallow or careless. Monkey, on the other hand, sometimes finds Snake's seriousness oppressive. Snake's tendency to control, to plan, to critique, can feel like a cage to a monkey who thrives on freedom. Monkey may roll their eyes at Snake's intensity, teasing them for being too serious, too heavy, too demanding of perfection. But when both respect these differences, their friendship becomes something rare and lasting. Snake learns to admire Monkey's spontaneity, even if it makes no sense to their logical mind. Monkey learns to lean on Snake's wisdom, even if it feels restrictive at times. Over years, these lessons become second nature, shaping each into better versions of themselves. Snake becomes less rigid, more able to laugh at life's absurdities. Monkey becomes less reckless, more able to think before leaping. Their bond evolves into a kind of unspoken mentorship wrapped in laughter. Picture them decades later, sitting together in a cafe. Monkey is still cracking jokes, still animated, still telling a story with their hands flying everywhere. Snake is still calm, still sharp, still watching, but now smiling more freely, the weight of their seriousness softened by years of friendship. They don't even need to say much. There's comfort in the silence between their bursts of laughter. What makes this friendship powerful is its duality. They are different enough to challenge each other, yet similar enough to understand one another's passion. Snake values loyalty and depth, and Monkey, despite their playful reputation, is fiercely loyal to the people they care about. Monkey values fun and joy, and Snake, despite their intense exterior, secretly craves someone who will break through their shell and bring light. These shared needs create a bond that isn't just casual but meaningful. Sometimes, their friendship feels like an ongoing dialogue between seriousness and silliness. Snake is the philosopher, asking questions about meaning, direction, and purpose. Monkey is the comedian, reminding them that sometimes the answer is simply to laugh. Together, they create a balance that others admire but rarely replicate. Of course, they face moments where their differences lead to small explosions. A snake friend might retreat, refusing to answer calls after feeling slighted by a careless monkey remark. Monkey, frustrated by Snake's brooding, may mock them or brush it off, not realizing the depth of hurt. These moments can test their bond, but the beauty lies in their ability to reconcile. Snake, for all their grudges, values the loyalty Monkey consistently shows when it truly matters. Monkey, for all their flightiness, recognizes that Snake is the friend who will never abandon them when storms hit. In this way, they forgive, they adjust, they grow. When Aries Snake and Leo Monkey are friends, they show the world that friendship is not about sameness, it's about complementing one another. Their connection lasts not because it is easy but because it is enriching. They give each other gifts no one else can offer: patience for the restless monkey, joy for the solemn snake. Their laughter together carries wisdom, their silences carry trust, and though they may clash, though they may test one another, their friendship has the potential to outlast fleeting bonds and become something lifelong, marked by both admiration and affection. In the end, their friendship is like a dance of contrasts: strategy and play, silence and laughter, depth and lightness. It isn't always smooth, it isn't always predictable, but it is always alive. For Aries Snake and Leo Monkey, friendship is not just a pastime. It's a journey of balance, a shared adventure where each finds what they lack in the other, and in doing so, both discover more of themselves. Business. Now imagine them as business partners. Aries Snake and Leo Monkey in the world of commerce are nothing short of a fascinating experiment in contrast and synergy. On one side, we have the snake, clever, strategic, and deliberate, with an instinct for spotting opportunities that others miss. They see the long game. They plan for years ahead, never moving impulsively, always calculating risks before taking even a single step. On the other side, there's the monkey, magnetic, brilliant at networking, marketing, and persuasion. They thrive on interaction, charm investors with their charisma, and can win clients over with little more than a smile and a perfectly timed joke. Put these two together, and you get a duo capable of building something grand: an entrepreneurial team with both brains and charisma, foresight and showmanship. At first, the pairing feels unstoppable. Snake, content to remain in the background, focuses on strategy, logistics, financial planning, and the invisible strings that keep a business strong. They're the kind of partner who spends hours studying contracts, double-checking figures, running scenarios to make sure nothing is overlooked. Monkey, meanwhile, shines under the spotlight, dazzling potential partners, customers, or investors with confidence and quick thinking. They're the front-facing side of the partnership, the one who knows how to take Snake's meticulous planning and sell it to the world with infectious enthusiasm. Together, their skill sets are almost perfectly complementary. Snake builds the structure, Monkey paints it in bright colors and brings people inside. Imagine them launching a venture. Snake is in the office late into the night, drafting a flawless business plan, anticipating challenges, and preparing strategies for each possible scenario. Monkey is out at networking events, shaking hands, making connections, and convincing people that their company is the next big thing. When they come together the next morning, Snake provides the foundation, Monkey brings the opportunities, and suddenly the dream has shape and momentum. In this way, they seem destined for success, because one excels where the other is weakest. But here lies the catch: their differences, while powerful, can also spark conflict if left unchecked. Snake values secrecy and control. They like knowing that every decision has been weighed carefully, that every move is deliberate. Monkey, however, thrives on improvisation. They often promise more than the snake is comfortable with, making big, bold statements in the heat of the moment just to impress a potential investor. To Snake, this feels reckless, like gambling with their carefully built stability. To Monkey, Snake's constant caution feels suffocating, like trying to run with weights tied to their feet. These opposing instincts can create serious friction. Money is often the battleground. Snake saves, invests wisely, and treats resources with almost reverent respect. Monkey, however, sees money as a tool for expansion, for risk, for show. They want to invest in bold campaigns, splash out on promotions, and make a grand impression. When Monkey spends too freely, Snake feels panic rising, imagining the whole structure collapsing. When Snake insists on holding back, Monkey feels stifled, fearing they're missing once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Without balance, this tug-of-war can unravel their business. Another potential fault line is trust. Snake is naturally suspicious, always scanning for betrayal or weakness, even among friends. In business, this translates into a need for absolute loyalty and transparency from their partner. Monkey, however, thrives on flexibility, often keeping options open and juggling multiple conversations at once. To Snake, this looks like disloyalty, even if it isn't. To Monkey, Snake's probing and controlling nature feels like a lack of faith. Unless they address this tension openly, suspicion and resentment can grow until their partnership falters. Yet, when they align on goals, the potential is immense. Snake provides the discipline, the long-term stability, and the risk management that ensures the company doesn't implode. Monkey provides the energy, the publicity, the visibility, and the personal connections that transform ideas into real-world growth. Think of a Snake-Monkey business as a theater production. Snake is backstage, designing the set, directing the cues, ensuring every detail is perfect. Monkey is on stage, dazzling the audience, making the show unforgettable. Without Snake, the production collapses into chaos. Without Monkey, the audience never shows up. Together, it's magic. What sets them apart from many partnerships is their ability to create an empire if, and only if, they learn to trust. Snake must accept that not all risks are dangerous, that Monkey's instinct for people can open doors no calculation ever could. Monkey must respect that not all caution is fear, that Snake's careful planning saves them from disasters they can't even see coming. When they reach this balance, their business doesn't just survive. It thrives, growing steadily while also shining brightly in the public eye. But if they fail to find that balance, the same energy that fuels their growth can become destructive. Snake may withdraw into secrecy, taking control of the finances and decision-making out of fear. Monkey may rebel, striking deals on the side or pursuing their own agenda. Distrust festers, communication breaks down, and what could have been a legendary partnership turns into a battlefield of egos. Their greatest asset, their differences, becomes their downfall. When it works, though, their collaboration feels legendary. Picture them years later, running a successful company. Snake is still the quiet mastermind, ensuring the foundation is unshakable. Monkey is still the dazzling face of the brand, making headlines and winning hearts. Investors admire their stability, customers love their charisma, employees respect their complementary strengths. They become that rare kind of partnership everyone else envies. One built not on similarity, but on the ability to merge two very different worlds into one unstoppable force. In the end, Business between Aries Snake and Leo Monkey is not about choosing caution over charisma or charisma over caution. It's about weaving both into a single vision. They can sabotage each other if mistrust takes root, or they can build an empire if mutual respect guides their path. Their success depends on whether Snake learns to let go of control and trust Monkey's instinct, and whether Monkey learns to respect Snake's discipline and foresight. When they do, they create a legacy in business that is as dazzling as it is enduring. Dark sides. Every union has shadows, and Aries Snake with Leo Monkey is no exception. What makes this pair so fascinating is also what makes them dangerous to each other when their darker qualities rise to the surface. It's almost as if their brilliance comes with a cost. The brighter the light, the sharper the shadow it casts. The snake and the monkey, both fiery and proud in their own ways, can create storms that shake not just their relationship but the very ground beneath it. The snake's dark side begins with jealousy. It isn't always loud or obvious. It's rarely the kind of jealousy that explodes in public or leads to dramatic scenes. Instead, it festers quietly, growing like ivy around their heart. The snake observes everything, remembers every detail, notices every glance their monkey gives to someone else. Even a casual joke or harmless flirtation that the monkey tosses out without thought can feel like betrayal to the snake. And unlike some, the snake doesn't let go of these slights easily. They hold grudges, sometimes for years, and the weight of that grudge can shape the entire relationship. Possessiveness follows naturally from this jealousy. Snake wants security in love, and when they don't feel it, they tighten their grip. They become controlling, not always in obvious ways, but through subtle manipulation. Small comments designed to keep monkey close, invisible restrictions placed on their freedom, expectations set that are never openly discussed but deeply felt. Snake craves loyalty, and when they fear losing it, they try to bind their partner closer. But the harder they pull, the more the monkey resists. Manipulation is another dangerous weapon in the snake's arsenal. When hurt, snake doesn't always confront directly. Instead, they work from the shadows. They might withdraw affection, give the silent treatment, or use their deep understanding of the monkey's psyche to wound them where it hurts most. Snake has the ability to strike without ever raising their voice, and their calm exterior can hide storms brewing underneath. It is this ability to wound silently, to retaliate in ways that aren't immediately obvious, that makes their dark side so potent. The monkey, however, carries shadows of their own. Carelessness is their first flaw. They don't always think before they act, and while this makes them fun and spontaneous, it also makes them dangerous in a relationship with someone as sensitive and observant as the snake. A careless word, a forgotten promise, a playful flirtation, these may mean nothing to the monkey, but to the snake, they cut deep. Arrogance is another trap for the monkey. They thrive on attention, on admiration, on applause. They know how to win a room, and they love the power it gives them. But sometimes this confidence tips into arrogance, and when it does, they stop noticing the effect they have on others, or worse, they don't care. They might dismiss the snake's concerns, brush off their feelings as overreactions, or assume that their charm will fix everything. To a snake who values respect and depth, this arrogance feels like salt poured on wounds. And then there's validation seeking. Monkey has an almost insatiable hunger for being liked, admired, desired. Even in a loving relationship, they may still chase glances, compliments, and admiration from others. They flirt, they play games, they bask in attention. Often it's harmless, at least in their mind. But to the snake, who equates intimacy with devotion, these games feel like betrayal. It makes snake question, if I'm not enough, why are you with me at all? That question haunts them, feeding their jealousy, making them strike back in ways that damage the trust between them. Together, these dark sides can create a storm that threatens to consume their relationship. The snake tightens control, demanding loyalty and testing the monkey in subtle ways. The monkey rebels harder, pulling away, becoming even more reckless in their pursuit of freedom. Snake retaliates with manipulation and silent punishment. Monkey responds with arrogance and carelessness. The cycle of mistrust spirals, each feeding the other's worst tendencies. And once that cycle begins, it becomes incredibly difficult to repair. What makes it worse is that both are proud. Snake is too proud to admit when their jealousy becomes toxic. Monkey is too proud to admit when their need for attention crosses the line into disrespect. Neither likes to lose, and neither likes to bend first. So their arguments, though not always loud, are battles of will. Who will yield? Who will apologize? Sometimes neither does, and the silence that follows can be colder than any shouting match. There is also danger in their tempers. Snake may appear calm, but once provoked, their anger is sharp and enduring. Monkey, quick to laugh, is also quick to lash out with words that cut deeply, words they may regret later but can never take back. In the heat of conflict, both have the power to wound each other in ways that leave scars. And yet, these very shadows also reveal their greatest challenge, and their greatest opportunity. The snake and monkey must learn to recognize their darker impulses before they poison the relationship. Snake must realize that control does not equal love, that possessiveness only drives the monkey away. Monkey must realize that freedom does not equal carelessness, that constant validation from others undermines the loyalty of the person who truly matters. Their challenge is to choose love over ego. It sounds simple, but for them, it is the hardest task of all. It means snake must loosen the grip even when fear whispers otherwise. It means monkey must resist the urge for endless admiration and instead honor the devotion of the snake. If they succeed, they transform their dark sides into strengths. Snake's intensity becomes loyalty without control. Monkey's energy becomes joy without recklessness. But if they fail, if jealousy, arrogance, manipulation, and carelessness become the defining features of their union, then the storm they create will be impossible to survive. Trust, once broken, is difficult to repair for the snake. Respect, once dismissed, is difficult to regain for the monkey. The end of such a relationship is rarely quiet. It leaves both scorched, both wounded, both remembering what could have been. In the end, the dark sides of Aries Snake and Leo Monkey are not just obstacles, they are tests. Tests of maturity, of self-control, of love's ability to endure beyond ego. Their shadows can destroy them, but if faced honestly, they can also teach them the lessons they need to grow. It all depends on whether they choose suspicion or trust, arrogance or humility, games or sincerity. That choice determines whether their love story is a tragedy of shadows or a triumph of light. Life goals. What about their life ambitions? Aries Snake and Leo Monkey stand at two very different crossroads when it comes to their deepest drives, and yet, when you look closer, their differences don't clash, they intertwine. Aries Snake seeks security, influence, and mastery. Their ambitions are deliberate, measured, and long-term. They want to build something lasting, whether it's a family legacy, a career empire, or a personal success that cannot be taken away. Snake dreams in decades, not days. They imagine themselves climbing slowly, steadily, until they stand at the top of something permanent and powerful. Their life goals are about depth, roots, and control. Leo Monkey, in contrast, craves recognition, excitement, and freedom. Their goals are bright and dramatic, often involving the spotlight, applause, and constant motion. They want growth that feels alive, not just safe. They want to explore, to travel, to taste as much as life has to offer, and they don't just want to succeed, they want to succeed in a way that people notice. Monkey is fueled by admiration, and their ambitions often involve creativity, leadership, or entertainment. Their life goals are about visibility, momentum, and expression. At first glance, these two seem to be chasing entirely different dreams. Snake looks like the architect, carefully drawing blueprints, focusing on structure and long-term gains. Monkey looks like the performer, improvising in the moment, jumping from opportunity to opportunity, thriving in chaos. But surprisingly, their visions are not at odds, they're two halves of a larger whole. Snake builds the foundation, monkey climbs to the top. Snake ensures stability, monkey ensures expansion. For example, imagine them pursuing a shared family goal. Snake wants stability, a secure home, financial safety, traditions passed down, children raised with discipline and values. Monkey wants joy, laughter around the dinner table, family trips, excitement and stories to tell. Alone, Snake might make the home too rigid, too serious, too focused on safety. Alone, Monkey might make the home too chaotic, too unstable, too indulgent in fun without discipline. Together, however, they balance each other. Snake anchors the family, Monkey fills it with life. In careers, the same pattern unfolds. Snake is the strategist, choosing industries or positions where they can accumulate power, prestige, or expertise. They are ambitious, but never careless. They would rather move slowly and succeed permanently than chase fleeting highs. Monkey, however, thrives on visibility. They want the kind of career where their name is known, their talents admired, their efforts applauded. Snake works for mastery, Monkey works for recognition. Together, they can build a career empire. Snake ensuring the structure, Monkey ensuring the spotlight. But what happens if they don't align their life goals? Here lies the danger. Snake might grow frustrated with Monkey's seemingly restless ambition. To Snake, Monkey looks scattered, always running after the next shiny thing, never focusing on depth. Monkey, meanwhile, might grow bored with Snake's obsession with stability. To Monkey, Snake looks restrictive, too careful, too unwilling to take leaps of faith. If Snake feels their careful plans are constantly being disrupted, or if Monkey feels their fire is constantly being dimmed, conflict begins to grow. Travel is another area where their goals diverge yet complement. Snake often travels with purpose, for business, for education, for something that contributes to growth and mastery. Monkey, however, travels for fun, for excitement, for the thrill of the unknown. Snake is the planner who organizes the trip. Monkey is the one who turns it into an adventure. Left unchecked, Snake might view travel as a waste of resources, while Monkey might view Snake as someone who never wants to leave the comfort zone. But if united, their journeys become unforgettable. Snake ensures safety and efficiency, Monkey ensures fun and spontaneity. On a personal level, Snake's life goals often revolve around mastery of the self. They want to cultivate wisdom, inner peace, and a sense of control over their destiny. Monkey, however, wants to explore themselves by engaging with the world, through people, experiences, challenges, and even risks. Snake looks inward for answers, Monkey looks outward. And yet, if they learn from each other, Snake can teach Monkey depth, while Monkey can teach Snake to embrace the beauty of unpredictability. Socially, their ambitions diverge as well. Snake is often selective about friendships, preferring depth over quantity. They would rather have a few loyal allies than 100 acquaintances. Monkey, however, thrives in social circles, craving popularity, admiration, and recognition. Snake may see Monkey's social hunger as shallow, while Monkey may see Snake's quiet selectivity as cold. But together, they form a powerful duo in society. Snake cultivates loyal inner circles, Monkey dazzles wider networks. In love, their life goals intertwine in particularly interesting ways. Snake wants permanence, a partner who is deeply loyal, a love that can stand the test of time. Monkey wants romance, adventure, and passion. Alone, Snake might create a relationship that feels safe but heavy. Alone, Monkey might create one that feels thrilling but unstable. Together, their goals balance into a love story that has both security and sparkle. Where this union becomes dangerous is when either of them forgets to compromise. Snake may grow obsessed with stability to the point of suffocating Monkey's dreams. Monkey may chase so much external validation that Snake feels unloved, unvalued, or left behind. Snake might retreat into suspicion, Monkey might rebel into recklessness. Their goals, once complementary, turn into weapons against each other. But when they consciously align, when Snake accepts that excitement can exist within stability, and Monkey accepts that freedom can exist within loyalty, their combined ambition becomes remarkable. Snake builds structures that last, Monkey fills them with energy, color, and light. Snake builds the house, Monkey makes it a home. Snake lays the stage, Monkey becomes the star. Snake creates the legacy, Monkey ensures the world notices it. The beauty of this pairing is that they don't just dream differently, they dream in ways that, if respected, can complete each other. Snake teaches monkey the value of roots. Monkey teaches snake the joy of wings. Snake shows monkey that some goals require patience. Monkey shows snake that some goals require risk. Together, they can create a life that is both grounded and soaring, serious and joyful, stable and adventurous. In the end, their life goals reveal the heart of their compatibility. If divided, they may drift apart, snake retreating into quiet ambition, monkey chasing applause elsewhere. But if united, they become a rare and powerful team. Snake provides stability, monkey brings visibility. Snake builds the foundation, monkey climbs to the top. And in that union, they achieve remarkable things not just as individuals, but as a pair destined to leave a mark on the world. Final conclusions. So, are Aries Snake and Leo Monkey truly compatible? The answer, as with most great love stories, is both yes and no. Their connection is not simple, not straightforward, and never bland. Instead, it is a fiery blend of passion, fun, and intelligence, one that refuses to be ignored. When these two come together, sparks fly, sometimes lighting up the sky with brilliance, sometimes setting the ground ablaze beneath their feet. Their bond is never lukewarm. It is either extraordinary or exhausting, inspiring or infuriating. When things are good, they are breathtaking. Aries Snake brings a depth, sensuality, and calculating elegance that captivates Leo Monkey, who thrives on charm, wit, and boundless enthusiasm. Together, they create a couple that turns heads, not just because of their charisma, but because of the sheer energy they radiate. They are the couple people admire at parties, the duo whose banter makes others laugh, whose presence fills a room. Snake provides the mystery, monkey provides the sparkle, and together they craft an aura of power and fascination. But when things are bad, their clashes can be dramatic, even destructive. Snake's jealousy, possessiveness, and need for control collide violently with monkey's need for freedom, attention, and validation. Snake wants reassurance, monkey wants applause. Snake craves loyalty, monkey craves play. What begins as fiery attraction can just as easily become fiery conflict, leaving them both scorched in the aftermath. Their success, then, hinges on compromise. Snake must learn to trust more, to loosen the grip, to understand that love is not a cage but a choice freely made. Control may offer temporary comfort, but it kills the very spark that drew monkey in. Monkey must learn to reassure more, to give loyalty as freely as they give laughter, to recognize that endless flirting and validation seeking may fuel their ego but starves the snake of security. Both must bend, both must grow, and both must recognize that ego is their greatest enemy and love their greatest salvation. When they manage this delicate balance, something rare happens. Snake's depth and monkey's brightness create a union that is not only exciting but also enduring. They become partners who balance seriousness with fun, tradition with adventure, privacy with visibility. Snake builds the solid ground, monkey lifts them into the sky. Snake offers wisdom, monkey offers joy. In such moments, they are unstoppable, not just surviving but thriving, not just loving but inspiring. Yet the danger remains ever present. Too much snake and the relationship suffocates. Too much monkey and it fractures under carelessness. They are like fire and flame, too much and they burn each other down, but balanced carefully, they light up the world. It is this precarious edge, this dance between destruction and creation, that defines them. Their final conclusion as a couple depends entirely on the choices they make. If snake surrenders to suspicion, and monkey to arrogance, they will implode, leaving behind regrets and lessons learned too late. But if snake surrenders to trust, and monkey to sincerity, they will flourish, leaving behind a legacy of love that others admire and envy. Their compatibility is not written in the stars as a certainty. It is written in their willingness to grow, to adapt, to love not just passionately but wisely. In the end, Aries Snake and Leo Monkey embody the paradox of fire itself. Fire warms, fire illuminates, fire inspires. But fire also consumes. Their destiny is to decide which fire they will be, the one that burns their bond to ashes, or the one that lights the path forward, glowing brightly for years to come. If they choose carefully, if they nurture trust and loyalty without stifling joy and freedom, they will not only succeed in love and partnership, they will shine so brilliantly together that the world cannot help but notice.